The semifinal, the first semifinal of the 2v2 competition. One of the teams we've seen in the first game of the day, and that is Shocky and ToX. They are up against the only remaining Korean team in LawLiet Soin. They advanced yesterday after smacking Sonic's and Muscle Mike's ass there. So let's see if we get a Korean team in the grand final, or will it be all European from here on out? I have no idea who cast the series, but I did the first one, so I'm off, and let you guys enjoy this. Have fun.
Remo Demo, let's save Chaos Front, and let's do it. Will you be my dancing partner, Remo Demo? Will you take my hand? The time of my life. Will you do this with me, Remo Demo?
Absolutely. I mean, I will not sing with you, but to do almost anything else with you, I will be your damsel.
Will you send me hair in the mail?
Dude, actually, there is some hair left over. I was worried I was going to mess up the present for X-Lord, and so I had a backup bit of strain of hair left, so I could do it a second time. But it worked out the first time, so you know.
It worked out beautifully.
How much do you need?
Oh, I want it to be framed and everything, though. I need to put it on my wall.
Well, I still have these little glue sticks, you know.
The little. Do you have any of the red heart things anymore? Or,
I did use up all of those. I would have to get some new ones. I know where to get them though.
All right, yeah. I want you to put some real effort into this Remo Demo. Okay, show me some affection that you showed X-Lord. Okay. 70% of it.
You know, this might make him jealous, but you know, as I said, I will be your damsel as we move into our next 2v2 here. Shattered Exile. I love this map. I think it's really cool. Currently has been in rotation for 2v2 for quite a long time. Is also in discussions of being entered into the 1v1 map pool as the big macro map replacement for Twisted Meadows, which has recently been rotated out. How do you like this map, Carson? And don't say you don't love it.
I have not played it, but of course we did do that town hall going over the map, so I did have the opportunity to look over it quite a bit. You know, I think the terrain is a bit basic, but of course after playing maps like Turtle Rock and Lost Temple for years in team games, not running into creeps all the time is very, very nice on maps like this. And I think that there's plenty of creeps. The expansions are in a place where, you know, you can creep them out, but they're not always entirely safe. And, you know, although the terrain is basic, sometimes basic is nice. So I don't mind it, but I haven't had the opportunity to play it quite yet.
Players' forces are under attack.
Thank you. Yu with the €10 donation says, more buck for you. Absolutely. Thank you, my man. I guess we haven't introduced the teams really yet, have we? In the bottom right, we have Shocker for the German team. In the top right, we have ToX, German/English. And the Koreans on the left, LawLiet in the top left. And bottom left, we have Soin. We see a lot of summons here at the beginning for the Koreans. The Farseer with our beloved Woofies. And the Keeper already level 2 with the Treants clearing out the natural. This map seems to be pretty good for fast expansion, with the gold mine nicely protected between the two allies' main bases. And the piercing damage meta in full effect here for the Koreans. We have archers and headhunters.
Yeah, this seems to be very well thought out so far for the Koreans. We have the headhunters and the archers creeping with LawLiet's Keeper. The Farseer is keeping Shocker busy, which of course, you're always going to see generally one side in 2v2 be the carry. If you have a Torn Chieftain from the Orc, we're going to see, you know, a Night Elf player trying to keep their opponents busy so the Torn Chieftain can creep. In this case, the Night Elf is generally going to be trying to keep the other opponents busy so that the undead can creep. And that's what the Farseer is able to do on his own. Stop Shocker from creeping entirely while this Keeper of the Grove is almost free level 3. So I feel like this is very well done so far. Look how fast these range units creep up, and now they're even giving the Farseer a little bit of experience.
That's a fast level 3 over here for LawLiet. He could very easily go fiend hunting with this. Got some nice items as well. An aggressive play here, behind which he's going to expand. It wouldn't be too surprising to me. Shocker really needs to speed up here with the XP. But here comes the Keeper. He got the staff. He finds the target with a wolf or something. I'm not sure. One fiend taken out right away. That hurts, but is somewhat sustainable. Doesn't want to lose another one, though. There's an ally's Wisp close by. He could use that to detonate, but wasn't quite immediately able to do that right away to prevent the first fiend from dying. Forces a TP as well. And by the way, ToX got the Assassin which is a unique mercenary to this map.
It reminds me of Dalaran, if you remember that map on NetEase. I don't know if there's any ever European, yeah, but you know, poison, shadow meld, you can get it right away. It's essentially like having 2 dryads immediately. I believe this bad boy has poison. Not too overpowered, of course, on 2v2 maps, because it can be focused down very easily, especially with the keepers. But yeah, so far so good for the Koreans, as it seems. Just lots of creeping, and the Panda already for LawLiet. Gonna be a very quick level 3 if he's left alone.
Yeah, the assassin has the damage poison though, not the slow poison. I think that would be really broken. So
yes.
It's not that bad. We do have another one, so we have double assassins now for our German mates. And still no expansion. I must say that does surprise me a bit. With LawLiet landing on tier 2, we have double lures coming. Berserkers plus Mountain Giants could be very strong late game, but for now they're going to remain longer on tier 2 and stabilize here in the mid game.
Yeah, you said it was a macro map, and it seemed to be just that right now. A lot of creeping, and, you know, of course, text coming through for both the Night Elf players. The question always is, what are they going to go into? Will it be a lot of Dryads like we saw in the last 2v2? Or, as you also mentioned, Mountain Giants, when you get up to 4, pretty incredible, especially with Headhunters in the back. But it seems as though Soin is going into Bestiary Torn Totem. Very interesting with, I imagine, yep, Torn Chieftain second. And of course, we know what we're going to see from Shocker. We're going to see the standard, probably Crypt Lord third, tier 3 big undead army with mass ranged units. So strong in 2v2. Undead's really always been a huge carry, as the Farseer actually going to fall from a nice block. Nicely done by ToX and Shocker there to pick off. It's just a level 1 Farseer, but a good little kill there.
Yeah, I also like the choice of letting him die, not using the TP. That seems like it would have been a waste. In a 1v1, you can oftentimes afford to not have a TP anymore, to walk around without carrying one. But in 2v2, it seems like you always need to be able to respond, come to your ally's aid if need be.
A player's forces are
ToX,
under attack.
again with the boots on the keeper. He did that before as well in the previous match. Seems quite Sonic-inspired, I want to say.
Yeah, and then he eventually gave him to the Panda in the last map, which I think was really good. And for Shocker, his Death Knight is looking spooky. That's a whole lot of coils. And it can be a whole lot of Novas, a whole lot of Impales as well, if you prefer to get the AoE over the single target heal. And Soin caught a little bit off guard here. Spirit Link to try to save a couple of Headhunters, but he's going to lose 1, possibly 2 even. But where's the Keeper? A little out of range, so is the Lich, but 2 Headhunters falling. This is a great little pressure from the Europeans.
Yeah, this looks like a really scary timing. Shocker with his Frost Armor. I must say, I'm really not a big fan, especially against this army. There's only ranged in here. I mean, the armor is okay, but also Lich level 4 with level 2 Dark Ritual can be so strong. But yeah, this is something I guess that he's favoring recently. And this timing is absolutely scary. LawLiet with the greedy tier 3 tech might be getting punished. Shredder also bought. This one is by ToX. 400 gold, very expensive. Has to be protected.
I think LawLiet is really kind of carrying here. He managed to kill all the units of ToX, and now the Keeper getting focused. Nice invuln transfer from the Death Knight. There's plenty of mana on the heroes of the Europeans right now. The Fiends in the back, the Lich in the back, the Assassins, before mentioned, are putting in some work as LawLiet and Soin try to get out of here. But the Panda is kiting. The Breaths of Fire are decent, but you're going to need a whole lot more. And you might even need to revive your Panda as the Entangle comes in. Nice staff out by the Keeper of the Grove. But the Torn Chieftain could really not get the value he's been searching for. No level 3, and now the expansion also canceled, and the Torn Chieftain trying to get out. Nice stomp. But it seems as though this might be going the way of Europe. Incredibly done. Nice timing, like you pointed out.
Dude, the greed by LawLiet is kind of crazy, though. Rushing tier 3, and he tried to expand, playing this whole mid-game only with archers and I suppose a Panda. We have a couple Dryads now, but Dryads never really the best units, as they are magic immune. They really shouldn't be. And still we have the Koreans here under pressure. Reinforced defenses desperately needed, about to finish. But the heroes for our Orc player here, Soin, looking rather weak. But also, ToX's forces have all but disappeared.
Yeah, Torn Chieftain, of course, seems to be a really good hero because it has the aura and the AoE is so good in team games, but it's just not really able to get online. LawLiet is putting in some work, though. This is honestly a little bit of a clinic with this kiting with the Panda, with the Breath of Fire and the Dryads, but you can only kite for so long against the Entangle and against the slow of the Dryads. But they're finding some value. LawLiet Soin, their experience is showing right now. They're sort of kiting back and forth. Zeppelin comes in to try to save some of these units. Keeper out of nowhere falls. All right, I missed that one. Hopefully Neo may have not. But level 4 Keeper falls. Very well done so far from LawLiet Soin.
Yeah, outstanding play here by LawLiet. He's keeping his team in this game, and we do have the Bears coming out now. With the new mana buff, it's hard to say no to Bears, even if MGs might be more effective in the long run, but going with Bears up until 50 supply and then breaking into upkeep with Mountain Giants is also something that's quite popular. And, well, the Koreans have held, and the Germans were stuck on tier 2 for quite a while. Shocker now finally getting his own tier 3. But if he's going to go Crypt Lord again, there's going to be pretty much nothing to creep for that thing.
Yeah, it seems as though everything pretty much gobbled up. There's a couple, of course, expansions, but
Gobble, gobble.
gobble gobble. One's being crept right now, and the other one's being crept to the north, of course, and then just green camps scattered across. It seems as though there's a lot of creeps on this map when you begin, but once there's 4 players creeping, of course, LawLiet was creeping up a storm before that timing hit. He's already Panda level 4. And the creeps do quickly disappear. But I'm wondering, yeah, is Crypt Lord the right choice here? It will be a Crypt Lord for Shocker, but yeah, I guess the Impale on heroes, the Impale on some Orc units, not bad. He was getting some huge value on the Huntresses in the last best of 3, so.
A town is under siege.
Yeah, I always feel like, well, I very, very, very rarely play 2v2, but if you play 2v2, like, even if the Crypt Lord isn't the best hero, it's by fun the most fun hero. If you use the Impale and you see 20 units flying up in the air, and it has this really satisfying sound upon landing again, this whoosh, when they all land, and land a Nova on top, take them all out, absolutely beautiful.
What's the sound?
If you missed it, you're gonna have to check out the replay again, Neil. Hop over to the VOD, bro. Twitch.tv/back to Warcraft. Look at this tiny force by Soin. He's got like nothing, but he's standing in the middle here, not afraid of anything. And yeah, with LawLiet going into the enemy base.
Oh, the Panda. Oh, you've probably been here before. Your Ziggurat's get clumped. Imagine when that Panda gets level 5, you kill all of them at the same time. It feels good. Brilliantly played so far. Yeah, Soin, a very small force, but as an Orc player, got to be pretty experienced in this, the running away, the delaying, especially against undeads. You do this all the time, and they're doing this so well right now. The expansion's going to get canceled. The Dryad is caught out now for ToX, and he's trying to run away, but the Kodo going to eat. Maybe the Kodo going to go down, but I think worth an expansion cancel, perhaps.
Hungry Kodo.
Yeah.
Being too focused on a meal and sacrificing his health for it. That should certainly ring true for one of our casters in here.
Oh, no. Jesus. I knew exactly where you were going with that. Holy hell.
A player's forces are under attack.
We're going to talk about that one later.
Expansion's up for LawLiet. Do we have the Mountain Giants yet? Of course, Shredder for both of the Night Elf players. So Lumber will not be a problem if they want to go into those big late-game armies. But again, only one of our Night Elves has tier 3, and that's LawLiet currently as they exchange in the middle. Of course, Shocker is going to have the advantage against probably both of the Koreans currently. So if he can find a fight in the open field, he can definitely dominate. And there's actually a lot of Dryads for ToX as well. So if he can bully Soin, this is the perfect fight for both of the players on Team Europe. So this could be decent, and it seems as though Shocker's going to meet up with his teammate. And this may have to be a town portal in as LawLiet runs up. There's decent Moonwells, and look at the base build for LawLiet. Pretty beautifully built. They can fight very well once that Ancient War is out of the way.
Look at LawLiet the Madman. He's not even going into upkeep until now. He delayed for such a long time. He's just greeting it up like crazy. Rattling through with the Drunken Hate's Breath of Fire over and over. Staff will be there to get him out. One bear is going to go down, and now the expansion exposed. May want to have to give this up, or are they going to fight for it?
All right, TP in. Okay, yep. I wonder where the TP is going to go. I guess to the south. There it is. But now you kind of got to hold or give up the expansion. There's so many Dryads in the back. The Torn Chieftain cannot really get surface area for the stomp. The Panda's good, though. There's a decent stomp, but really, Soin's army is not too strong right now, short of that Tauren Chieftain. Where the Bears, they should be reinforcing. Yep, 2 from the back is going to help out. Nice and snares to try to focus down the destroyers. But his Team Europe breaking through. There's still a lot of range for the Koreans, though.
Soin bought his own staff so he could save the TC. I was very worried about the second tier with the Invul being gone, but now we got to be worried about the Farseer. One more coil, and that is the end for the Farseer, but he's one of the less important heroes here in this fight. Panda getting closer to 5, still has that mana potion. And these Dryads being taken up provide a lot of experience, but Shocker has hardly lost anything. One Breath of Fire to say adieu, because, yeah, this expansion will have to be given up on. And I don't know, man, where are the Mountain Giants at? I think Mountain Giants would have probably done way better.
Yeah, they were trying to deal with the destroyers so the Bears could help them out, but I think defending the expansion, maybe not the right choice, of course. That's just kind of how this map seems to play out. There's not a good spot to put an expansion to play a hit-and-run style. You're always going to be caught out. That expansion's always going to be able to be killed, and then a counterattack can happen immediately after because of how this map works. But I think playing, one base for the Koreans, more hit-and-run with that Panda, with the aura from the Tauren Chieftain and the Raiders may have been the better choice, not defending that expansion. But now, they're definitely going to have to go into that. It's going to be a long time coming before they have the forces to fight again.
That's a suicide mission. Get the Zep. Steal the Zep. Tox. Steal the Zep.
Oh, he
nice.
gets it. Nicely done. Very nice. It's a short cooldown for the next Zeppelin, but not short enough for Soin, who's going to lose his Tauren Chieftain.
A bit of a weird play here by Soin. That's a lot of losses.
Yeah, it's everything.
We call it yikes over here. 23 supply left. Ouch.
I don't know if this is the right army for Soin. Like, Raider Walker, opening Headhunters into Raider Walker, I really don't know. Like, do you have the time to go tier 3? LawLiet certainly did. But there's already a front line. I don't know what the best army would be, but I feel like this isn't it, Remo Demo.
Yeah, looking better and better for our Europeans. Dude, this Farseer enjoying the Night Elf shop. Look at that. He's got an Orb of Venom and a Staff of Preservation. Hell yeah, dude. Why not? If the Panda gets level 5, though, all bets are off. Can be terrible, terrible damage.
I think they might have to give this up. A town portal out, perhaps, with the peons, maybe in the future. There is 1,000 gold for Soin. He's trying to repair. LawLiet's going into the main base of Tox. Can he buy enough time, Soin, for his teammate to mount the counterattack? One Dryad's going to fall, and I think he will eventually town portal out. He's just going to buy as much time as he possibly can. He can town portal out. He can rebuild, perhaps, his altar to get the Tauren Chieftain back. But the stronghold is going to fall. There's not actually enough gold to rebuild the stronghold if he town portals out of here, but he's certainly going to have to. But the main base is exposed also for Tox at the same time. The Panda can kill all the Wisps. So this will be a 1-for-1 trade, but of course only one of these teams is in shape to win a fight currently.
This is really painful for Soin having no main base anymore. He can't buy a TP anymore.
Oh, he can't. Right, he didn't buy one. That's a mistake. Oh, did he? Okay, got it on the Tauren Chieftain. Okay.
It was expensive, though. TC had to come back from the tavern, get that TP. The Kodo still goes down. I'm kind of surprised, though. Shouldn't Shocker have just TP'd to his ally's base? He should have been able to win that 1v1 pretty easy. Especially with Moonwells in the shop there.
Because, yeah, the Stronghold fell before the Tree of Ages, as far as I know. And now, and I think LawLiet in the long run, if the Night Elf army gets cleaned up, LawLiet can probably win even if he's down supply, I want to feel. If it is just a straight 1v1. And it's one base.
Panda! Woof! He just killed 3 Wisps and a Shredder with 1 breath and a hit. That feels good. Panda's in the groove, man. He inhaled not just vodka, but this is like some 80% pure spirit, and he's feeling fiery.
Panda 5. A nice expansion, though, in the meantime from Tox. That is definitely a win condition. If it was only the main bases left, I would give the Koreans a decent shot here, but now they have to break this expansion, or there's really no way. Town portal out for LawLiet, but look how strong the Europeans' army is still after the Breath of Fire onto theirs.
Yeah, it's looking almost checkmate over here. Since we were on the Queen's Gambit topic earlier. Do you know all the rules of chess, Carson?
Yeah, I'm not very good, but I can play chess. Yes.
Did you learn the rules to understand the series better?
No, I've played since when I was in the 2nd grade. We had somebody come in, a grandmaster, and show my whole grade 2 class how to play.
How does it work with the grandmasters? Is there like a set amount, or do you have to reach a certain elo? Like, how do you become a grandmaster?
You have to play a certain number of tournaments, and then they give you a rating based on, I guess, your opponent that you played in those tournaments. But they have to be like FIDE tournaments. You get a rating.
Anyways, let's
Yeah,
focus on this fight for now. The Panda is the only chance here that the Koreans have, but it does look like an overwhelming amount of European forces knocking on the front door. In this scenario, I guess we could see the Koreans as the Ottoman Empire at Vienna. I think this is where the journey ends.
Maybe Shockwave would have been better for Soin, looking at the game now, especially for this hit-and-run style they go for. I think Shockwave would have been an incredible choice for Soin, especially with the kiting they've been doing all game. Of course, they cannot predict that, but it seems as though the main bases are out. Now Mountain Giants from LawLiet. 2 Mountain Giants are going to be coming out. The Hero Focus is attempted. The Panda's very, very good, of course. Invuln Force, though. Nice stomp behind it. I just don't feel there's enough. A very nice performance from Shocker and ToX.
Staffs are on point. LawLiet, I think it's been looking pretty good this game. So in a couple of weird plays in here, perhaps just the timings didn't quite work out, and even the main now expired for LawLiet. We're seeing the end of this game. Keeper close to death. And yeah, there's no getting out of this one anymore. And we're going to have the Europeans taking the 1-0 lead. That does come as a bit of a surprise. I wonder how the Koreans are going to adjust. Can they play a safer game on map 2 and 3? Did they feel they were perhaps a bit too greedy here?
Yeah, perhaps. LawLiet was very greedy, but...
EU number 1! ToX and Shocky, the RT players, getting a 1-0 lead over one of the best 2-2 teams in the world currently. And prior to the game, I saw chat, and a lot of people said, oh, well, these are 2 Grandmaster solo players against RT guys. Well, how is that supposed to be exciting? Well, look at this! Communication, timings, execution, all goes into 2-2. It's not always the 2 best solo players making the best 2-2 team. And I wonder, were LawLiet and Soin a little too confident going into this? Especially LawLiet a little cheeky with the Tier 3 and Expo at the same time, etc, etc?
Yeah, the funny thing is, LawLiet was being super greedy. Soin was being kind of safe, but Soin was getting punished because his base was getting attacked, and LawLiet probably didn't have quite enough forces to repel the attack quickly enough. So Soin looked kind of bad there, although it may not even have been that bad of a decision by him, although Raider Walker in 2v2, especially against Mass Dryads, seems like it might not be the perfect call. But yeah, that gives us this surprising 1-0, and that would be quite something. If ToX and Shocker made it into the grand final, I don't think too many would have expected that.
That's a really big statement, and it really says something about the game mode. Just because you're some of the best solo players of all time in the world of Korean, history in Warcraft 3 does not mean that you can beat players that are probably, much, much lower level than you in 1v1 in 2v2. It really says something. I think this is a clear showcase of the 2v2 is different. It's a different game mode. It's different, and that's why NA is number 1, ladies and gentlemen.
I was gonna do that. You stole it from me, but I have to say, like, ToX really good at supporting Shocker, but Shocker is starting to turn himself into a very good 2v2 player. It's very hard when you're undead. You have to carry. You alright?
Your camera is so fucked up, man. You're just a green blob that's talking at the moment. It's
really?
So good. Yeah.
It looks fine on my screen. All right. Well, I mean, you can't see me. Missing No says Shocker. you're turning yourself into a pretty good 2v2 player because the amount of carry, the decision making, the micro, the positioning is looking really good. Not to take anything away from ToX because he's supporting Shocker really well, but he's looking composed, man. It's really good. He's looking like a good 2v2 player. Is what I want to say.
Replace Bidoux's camera with this picture. There you go. Oh, it's gonna pop up. Is it gonna pop up? Oh, it's not popping up.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, the blobfish.
Jesus Christ.
There you go. You can just replace his box with that. Just throw that sucker in there.
That brings me back to like middle school. I always found that picture way more disgusting than funny. Is that just me?
It's pretty funny, dude. So what Carson is talking about, I gotta pull it up on the screen. Is this one? I mean, you know, the blobfish, I guess. But yeah, I wanted to praise ToX as well. There was a fight on the left-hand side, which was about the expansion. And ToX found the time to send the Potom to the shop because there was a little access because I think Treants were summoned, etc. And he was the one getting 2 heal scrolls at the very beginning of this fight. And that was so important to win this one and keep the heroes alive. And then eventually getting the Farseer into that fight as well. So pretty good, pretty good. I thought at the beginning of the game when Soin was pummeling Shocky a little bit, this might be a quick one and a very dominant one, but they found their way.
And really love seeing these new maps in 2v2, but for the next one, we're going to go back to an old classic, which is going to be Twisted Meadows. Third map, if we should go there, would be Fort Pearl again, which I think is a really cool map as well. But now we're going to go onto Twisted Meadows, and this should be very familiar terrain. Here we have seen tons of 2v2 tournaments in the past. WGTL was one of the most important ones where especially the Asians were playing a lot in. And here, very different heroes could be the choice. Like, for example, I could definitely see a Blade Master going for the Rock Golem camp at the beginning. A Demon Hunter here also quite viable, at least from the Koreans. Is this a return to the old standard, like Demon, Dryad, Naga, and then Orc with Blade Shadow? I could see it. Absolutely. And Twisted Meadows might be the perfect map for it as well.
Yeah, there's no meta settled in 2-2, of course. We've seen very different approaches by Night Elf and Orc teams, as you pointed out. There was a lot of summoning heroes with Keeper Farseer. There was TC solo when the Keeper is able to provide enough space. There's also a very different approach that we've seen yesterday by LawLiet and Soin with the Blade Master Demon Hunter. So I think for ToX and Shocky, everything is pretty much set in stone, but LawLiet and Soin, they got all the options, and I hope they chose a better option than they did in map 1. Remo, Carson, have fun.
Alrighty, Twisted Meadows map 2. We're splitting up the map into top and bottom. At the bottom, we have the Germans. On the left, we have ToX. And the right, we have Shocker. Top right, Soin playing with a standard opening build, but not with the option to go for a lab creep. Maybe because he doesn't have the favorable spawn and sort of can face it towards his ally, LawLiet, in the top left with what looks like a Huntress build opening. But before I forget it, I have to bring up the topic again that we were rudely interrupted just a moment ago by the players. Grandmaster chess, right?
Yes.
So there's not a set amount of Grandmaster that there can be, and then there's like a cutoff point and you get kicked out. You just, once you reach Grandmaster, you're forever Grandmaster. Is that it?
I'm sure somebody will correct me in the chat, but as far as I know, I don't think it's like a top X sort of thing. I think it's above a certain rating. I feel like 2100, I think it is in chess. Above 2100, you're a grandmaster, and they just have different titles depending on what your rating is. And it's not like you beat a grandmaster and you become one. I think it's purely done based on your rating that you gain from playing in tournaments that have this FIDA, whatever it's called, system that they're included in. I believe is how it works. Someone in the chat will guarantee correct me. I'm sure there's great chess players in the Warcraft community. I think there's a couple actually that are.
Oh, that's a good question. That would be fascinating. Which currently active Warcraft player is the best chess player out there, or which Warcraft player of all time is the best chess player out there? That would fascinate me. Who do you think would be very good at chess?
I know
who
that
would you expect to be?
There was on Thorzane's trivia on his Liquipedia, it said that he beat Naniwa in chess, poker, and like tic-tac-toe or something like that, like in a bunch of games.
Tic-tac-toe as well. Wow, that's
yeah.
crazy.
It was like a bunch of games and like checkers on top of that or something. That was in the trivia. They played a bunch of games in a row, and he beat him in all of them. I think it was Naniwa. So Thorzane strikes me as someone. I know there was a younger Warcraft player in the gym scene that was like 1900 rating. Maybe that's a bit high of an estimate, but a very, very strong player. I think there was one player in particular people always say was a very strong chess player. Someone in the chat will know. There was somebody who was like 1900, I think, but I don't know who of all time. There's got to be someone that went on to be a grandmaster in chess or already was when they played Warcraft.
Chat, this is your time to shine. Can you figure out which Warcraft player, not do you think would be the best, but is actually the best? Do we know of any grandmasters, or what's the other, the lower masters called? Like international masters or something, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
And then
That
there's
would be
for
really
some reason there's WFM, which is like the female. I don't know why it's separated, but somebody might know that as well. But we do have the classic searing arrow exchange in the middle, but there's a headhunter here. This is a little bit wacky. One question I got for you related to Warcraft: wouldn't it be good for the Night Elf to give an Ancient War to the Orcs a lot, to Soin, to creep maybe? Like the orange camp first, like the kobolds or something, so that someone can creep with an Ancient War early on and then go into Huntresses off that. Wouldn't that be cool to do? I don't know.
Yeah, could also be really nice. Might not be entirely necessary on Twisted. If you do a pull like we see here and you hire a Berserker, you can do it without, and the Gnolls you can do pretty easy as well. And I suppose LawLiet wants to prioritize pumping out those hunts early, although yeah, you could probably min-max it a little bit more, because sometimes the Ancient of Wars are not actually producing, and you could go for upgrades or something like that. Yeah, could definitely perhaps fit that in.
ToX actually did that. Speaking of that, I didn't even notice when I asked this question. ToX did that for Shocker, and we see he's got the greater mana from that Ancient of War there that he crept with immediately. I had no idea he did it, but apparently he did, and he gets level 3 so early. Maybe the bottom gonna fall for LawLiet. One more hit. Oh my god, the salve.
The heal salve.
So close.
And that heal salve basically saved her if the other Huntress had attacked.
Yeah.
Man. The Great Escape. War3 history with a 7-month resub. Thank you very much. So, Potom, TC Mass. We've seen that plenty of times before. I always feel like it's a really weird strategy. At the very beginning, it's weak. Then later on, with like 56 supply, it turns really good. But if the undead ever gets to super strong triple hero, then AoE starts destroying it again. So I feel like it has like this mid-game power spike, but oftentimes I see it be rather underwhelming as well. But now the TC is level 3, and this is certainly where it is very strong. Comes in with the Stomp, has the heal potion as well, which was a great find, and these fiends trapped have to be saved with a TP.
Oh my god, look at that. Would have been absolutely horrible if it was 1 second later on the TP. 2 seconds, I think all 3 die. 1 second, I think 2 die. And that greater heal helping out Soin quite a bit. But Shocker gets out of there. Of course, just waiting for his tier 3 to be finished, and he's not even tier 2 yet. Very, very delayed. The Huntress exchange is terrifying when you're just 1v1ing LawLiet with only Huntresses, I'm sure. I did that actually once, fun fact, in a 4v4 tournament, and he owned me and then killed my main base, and I had no units left for the whole game. Fun fact.
Did you win, though?
Well, don't want to brag, Remo Demo.
I want to give you the opportunity.
Yeah, I was playing with Cruncher and Hitman and Raven Draenor.
Damn.
We did win, but I did lose my main base the first game and had no units. I just had a Potom running around buying heal scrolls for about 20 minutes. Got carried by Hitman and Cruncher. Good times.
And there you see, there's many ways to win a series or a game, especially in 4v4. I noticed that on Wednesday as well. My game was going swimmingly in our 4v4. I had like 4 bases, I had 100 supply, 3 worms, and still lost. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Oh, another town portal, though. No fiends lost, so a nicely timed town portal yet again, but Shocker gets caught out 2 times, and the creeps are going to be gobbled for that Torn Chieftain. He's getting close to level 4. Gobble. But an expansion now for ToX. But if the timing comes, which it looks like they are mounting a timing, the Koreans, it could be a rough time to Expo, I gotta say.
Yeah, so far they're playing the strategy really well. As mentioned earlier, it can fall off later on heavily in the very late game against multiple heroes. Because normally with this, it's TC solo and pot up solo. There's going to be no other heroes coming in. Unless perhaps we're going to see a Shadow Hunter for Hex Stomp hero focus,
Right.
but not necessarily. But they have played this strategy very well so far with the level 3 power spike, controlling the map, stealing tons of camps, and there's not that much creeping left to be done on the mainland. However, if Shocker wants to purchase a Zeppelin, fly to the islands, there's still plenty of experience to be gathered up there, to be gobbled, especially later for the Crypt Lord could be very good, but Tier 3 still takes a while.
By the way, we do have an answer. This is, I actually knew this, but I forgot the answer. It's Hackslayer, a Canadian Night Elf player, is 2,300 apparently. We've actually casted him before. We hyped him up for a tournament for Neo, I think about a year ago or something. I forget what tournament it was, but yeah, Hackslayer, the legend. Good friend. Love that guy. 300 is falling.
So how
Yes.
high is that 2,300 MR?
Apparently 2,500 is GM, I was corrected. So he's very close. I think that would be IM. What you said before, International Master, I believe.
Forces are under attack.
Hackslayer, shout out to you, Canada, puck champ.
Gotta be honest, never heard of him before, but good to know.
He's strong for the region. Strong for the region.
Does he play human?
Night elf player.
Like a chess player, for some reason, I would automatically picture as playing human, for some reason.
He is a very
You always
strategical
you always have to
player.
be careful. If you're not looking, everything dies right away, you know?
Yeah. Hit and run begins, though, and the expansion's up behind this, gonna be mining soon. I believe this is a great strategical choice if ToX can get out of here without losing too much. The hit and run is honestly something some players do not do enough in 2v2. I believe it's a great thing to do. Just full Lamo mode, Remo Demo. That's the way you play it.
I didn't know you were a student of the Star-Shaped school, who
Yeah.
has been telling me this for a long time. Just lame your ass off as much as you can.
Oh, yeah. That's how you do it. TC level 5, though. Jesus. And a tiny Great Hall. It's always sad when you can't plant that sucker immediately, but Soin's going to be on 2 base himself.
A player's forces are under
But we'll
attack.
see who can win a fight right now. I feel as though the Koreans possibly in a better spot to win a fight at the current state, but LawLiet's just trying to get level 2 on his bottom.
Yeah, he was struggling hard with that. Now he finally does have it. Finds himself with a level disadvantage against ToX, but still eager to take this battle. I think LawLiet has slightly more hunts. And he's got the scrolls. Double TP forced that stomp just a tiny bit too late. But it's really hard to deal with Shocker. That's oftentimes the strength of Undead late game, especially on maps like TM, where you can do the split push. Normally, the Undead outscales both enemy armies in a 1v1, so oftentimes 2 armies have to respond, which makes it really hard to deal with the Undead in that case.
Absolutely. And we'll see where the gold goes for the Koreans now. Double Ancient Protector for LawLiet, who's staying on tier 1. So it's going to be really up to Soin to find the right army. There could be a position where, you know, if one player's getting all the gold and they don't build the right army, it could be a little bit rough. Whereas, you know, the Undead for Shocker, you know, he can really do no wrong. More Fiend's always good. More frontline in the way of Abominations is going to be great for him. More heal scrolls, but like more Headhunters, they could just die to the nuke. The expansion, though, for ToX is now going to go down. LawLiet trying to buy time, but the main base, again, for Soin could be falling potentially.
And there it goes. No longer an expansion for ToX. Oh, TP coming in. Wonderful impale. Of course, the TP always invites you to a big-time impale, but actually nothing dies. No Nova follow-up. Not too much focus fire. And here we see the tides turning in favor of the Koreans, it would seem. As long as there's not going to be a crazy counterattack.
Yeah, Ancient Protector by ToX at the expansion of Soin, but LawLiet stabs back with the Priestess of the Moon to deal with it. A nice try and a good distraction attempt when they are trying to buy time right now. But they do have to mount an attack or else the economic edge will probably be granting Korea victory in game 2. So, here they come. They're going to push Soin, and of course the Huntresses are incredible at forcing a fight because you cannot repair against them. So the hit and run advantage in favor of the Europeans currently. So seems as though Soin's getting into position to defend it. It's going to be a two-pronged attack, Remo Demo. The Orc from the back and the Night Elf from the front. I don't know where I'd rather be. A Town Portal in because, of course, Shocker is very strong against Huntresses. LawLiet trying to meet up with his teammate to get in front. This positioning is pretty good, but I can't say who has the advantage straight up in this fight. Are there heal scrolls? Not many for the Koreans, and there is a couple for the Europeans.
Hex on the Clip Rod right away. It's going to come down, I think, to these TC Stomps. They're looking okay so far. Wants to connect with the Fiends ideally. Oh my god, that's a wonderful one right there. Stomp rattles in hard, and the A-Bomb gets devoured by the Kodo Beast. DK now heavy focus on him, has the Invul Potion, was desperately needed as well. One more Impale flying through, but no more mana left on the Script Lord. Shocker has to reposition the DK. Now the TC might be in trouble himself, quickly TPing out on half HP. To his ally or to his main is the question. Into the main it is, but oh, Shadowhunter died. Basically didn't even see that, and there's no shop for Soin in his main, and these Korean players might be close to being eliminated now.
Oh, the Crypt Lord, it lived with like 10 health before it lives again with the coil. By the way, these Berserkers are +9 damage, thanks to the double aura. Oh
Hell
my
yeah,
god.
dude.
That is insane. 52 max damage on like 140 gold unit. This is incredible, dude. But is the damage enough? I think as though if the Stomps could be big, if that Torn Chieftain could get level 6, and heal scrolls were really missing. Double heal scroll there for the Koreans maybe could have made the difference, but now it is the Europeans pressing forward. LawLiet trying to do what he does best in buying time. Soin trying to get a shop up. That Kodo is very important, especially in 2v2, and even more important because it has an abomination.
A-Bomb, yeah.
Yeah.
DK sipped up that big mana pot, so Shocker. This is the late game undead. This is where it's so terrifying to face him, and no single army is able to deal with this undead force. Going to be a lot more Berserkers going down, just waiting for that Impale. Where's it going to be? We see a double kill already against the Berserkers, and we're going to see 2 more going down quickly. These Berserkers are falling. They have lots of damage, not so much survivability, whereas the coils are always there to save the important targets for Shocker. I think he might even be able to take this fight. He's waiting for his ally to come back. Tox is coming from the back. The bottom, of course, also adding in lots of damage. But Shocker 64 supply. It seems like he hasn't lost anything in such a long time.
Yeah, he's doing this carry role so well, Shocker. He's always keeping his units alive. That's credit to his teammate, of course.
Ooh,
But
the Impale!
Impales,
oh, the
my
Quad
God.
Nova! Oh my god, give me that XP, boy.
3.
Hells yeah.
Soon to be 4. There's a coil to guarantee it. There's a lot of headhunters, and that's what I mean by, like, what do you build as the Orc short of going Torrents? That, you know, you can go toe-to-toe with an undead late game like this. Certainly not headhunters. But LawLiet trying to buy time, canceling the expansion of ToX, who doesn't actually cancel it. A big blunder from the European Night Elf, but Soin really running out of forces. Double AP, by the way, at the expansion of Soin. So they're just trying to hold on. They're just trying to buy time right now.
Was that the Richard Lewis influence right there? The blunder.
A blunder.
Can you do a Thorin impression?
Oh god, no, I'm not much of a impressionist. I think Bidoux would probably nail it. We'll put him on the spot after, but no, there's no way, dude. That accent's tough.
Yeah, Thorin is so hard to do. Where the hell is this guy even from? Sounds like he's from Mars or something.
I think they're both from
also
Wales.
acts like he's from Mars.
He lived in Korea, but I think they're both from Wales.
Those Welsh boys, eh?
Yep. The main base.
They have a dragon on their flag, don't they? It's a pretty cool flag, gotta say.
Pretty dope.
You guys have a maple leaf. What's that about?
I don't know what we're doing over here, dude. Don't ask me. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, at least you're honest.
Main base.
Seems like someone's gonna leave. This is main. Do they have a TP to get over there? It doesn't look like it. It's a boot to end for them here in the main.
They have heal scrolls now, but honestly, Soin and LawLiet needed those earlier. And now the expansion is up, but it is equal economy yet again. The main base is at about 2,500 apiece. That's 4 minutes if my math is correct. The positioning is incredible for the Torn Chieftain. If he can get level 6, he could carry this fight, but eventually he's gonna run out of health. First heal scroll used, Shadowhunter, no heal wave in the back. The Headhunter's only +7 because there's no Kodo, and now the focus fires on the Torn Chieftain, there's no way he gets level 6 in time, Remo.
He's mostly out of mana. He has one more Stomp, has to wait for the second one for a long while. Long range coil flying. That's what we call a Night End coil right there. Didn't really find a kill.
Oh.
But he can kill the Shadow Hunter, certainly. Doesn't even need a coil for that. He's just chasing down this cow with these coils. This Zombie Mask, by the way, has been the shit for the DK. And they turned it around. Lose an expansion and to win the game. And our European pride is about to eliminate the Koreans.
So well played. Just they knew how to pressure, when to take fights, when to meet up, and you know, I gotta say, Shocker, very impressed by him. He never overcommits to a fight that he cannot win. He doesn't lose unnecessary units, and look at this undead force. They have to be 2v1 to be able to beat Shocker's army, and that's been true the entire game. And look at the hero levels. 5-3-3 nukes. That Tauren Chieftain, even if he gets level 6, might just die twice.
Yeah, this, I think we touched on it at the very beginning, right? This Huntress and Headhunter mass strat has some power spikes, but it also has some weaknesses.
Yes.
Very early and very late, and we see it right here. ToX is, of course, the weak point. He has hardly a useful army. It's really only the aura that he provides, but it is almost a level 3 aura. Shocker's gonna have to TP over to his allies' base, and the goal now for the Koreans is very clear. Building elimination. They know they can't win a fight anymore. Or are they gonna try? I don't believe so. Nova Impale, and yeah.
Oh my god.
Huntresses are a good joke.
You just can't hit and run because every time Coil Nova Impale, you're gonna lose 4 units. There's not really much you could do, especially with the aura. You know, at this pace, is gonna get to level 3. Now, LawLiet's probably gonna be forced into a town portal. Use it or lose it, Bucko. Is he going to dodge the invul? No, just town portals out. But of course, that's an important tool for this hit and run style. But Staff of Teleportation is going to do it now for LawLiet because he's down to what? 4 Huntresses.
Oh, here comes the pincer move. And that should be a Kodo at the very least going down. Where are the Novas? Where are the coils? He holds back on the nuke for now. Shocker, what happened to you? You almost have full mana. Didn't watch enough Night End streams, from what I can tell. But now the main base under threat for LawLiet. He's got the double APs here. But in such a supreme late game situation, 2 towers don't really make much of a difference. And yeah, I think it's wise for LawLiet to evacuate. They have to win this through building elimination. It's the only way. But with 2 expansions sprouting up at the same time for the Germans, it's going to be hard to do.
Yeah, the gold for town portals will run dry eventually for at least one of the Koreans. It's very important to kill this Tree of Life, although the main bases are about to be out. Of course, LawLiet could move it to the natural expansion. And of course, that is probably what ToX is going to go for. But yeah, there is going to be 2-base. A reveal comes out from, I believe, a crystal ball that someone had, maybe just from one of the labs. But both expansions, I believe, have been scouted by the Koreans. Can they tear them down? Because the main base of LawLiet is now definitely torn down. He's going to even farm some more experience. Shocker off these wisps. That's some juicy experience to get that Lich closer to level 5. The nuke is going to be incredible.
Just waiting for that moment, level 5 Lich, which one-shots all the wisps, but we're not quite there yet. Shocker, when did Shocker last lose a unit, by the way? I feel like he's just been slaying. Slaying, like Ricky at the club. Without pause, just endless success. But the main of ToX is gonna go down here.
Endless success.
Town is under siege.
Reveal, LawLiet, get out. You got a town portal. Oh, Soin actually meeting up with LawLiet. Oh my god, there's no town portal for ToX. How's he gonna get out? LawLiet uses the invuln. The Potom, level 5 out of position. All the Huntresses. Is there a way to reveal these Huntresses and the Potom? Of course, Stomp can do it. Now there's a Hex. Oh my god, the overcommitment that perhaps the Koreans needed. Level 5 Potom goes down. Town portal out could be used. Well, LawLiet not town portaling out. Oh my god, everything is dead, but the expansion also dead. But now all of a sudden, this could be a 2v1.
I think that's a 2v1 that Shocker's gonna gladly take, though.
Yeah.
He's got the unbeatable army now. There's only 2 heroes on the Korean side. That's not enough. And they have trash units. They have Hunts, which are ultra trash, and Berserkers. Against Cryptlord and Lich, also not the greatest. And Shocker's gonna bring this home. He's dancing around the bases right now. So that was supposed to be a a home run baseball reference. That didn't exactly work. But Shocker has the TP if he needs to get anywhere. And yeah, this is going to be a 2-0, man. Who would have thought this was going to happen? Huh? Who?
So well done. Yeah, even though everything is going down, I mean, the bases are just going to be dead. There's no way to win a base race, and that is really the only win condition the Koreans have, short of maybe a hero kill on the hero with the town portal. I think you gotta go for this Death Knight, but the Coil Nova, Hex, Stomp is there, but there's an invuln as the town portal. The Shadow Hunter is dead. No more Hex. There's the invuln. Yeah, short of losing this Death Knight, and then maybe the Lich after that, there's absolutely no way. Soin's trying to do it. He knows what he's got to do, but the game will end probably very shortly. Even LawLiet's trying with just the low huntresses. So well
Shout out
played.
to these fiends, by the way, who have +12.
Oh my god.
That must be a lot of fun. Oh, how quickly can 5 huntresses die? What do you think?
Oh, he's even coiling them. Oh my god. Craig has
Ultimate! Ult! Ray's dead! He wants to do it! Come on! Ah, he misses the opportunity. Also like Rick at the club.
falls just a bit short. Oh, the bottom out of position again. Level 7 Torn Chieftain, retrained to Shockwave, run around the map with level 3 Aura. Base trade, there's a Moonwell at the north. A win condition. Invuln
he faked
used.
the Impale. Nice.
It's fun to style on people when you know you've already won. That's what we're seeing. There's the GG. Very well done to Shocker and ToX. Good job upsetting the favorite in LawLiet and Soin. Congratulations, making it out of the the round of death, you may say.
EU #1, that is for sure. Europe is going to win the 2-2 competition, and the RT team is in the grand finals. What a spectacular performance, especially by Shocky, who carried both games. Of course, that's the undead rule. ToX creating the space, and yeah, Shocky standing true to his name, shocking the world right at the start of day 2 here at War3 Champions Season 6.
Yeah, that was really good. I mean, Shocker really carrying super well, super composed. We talked about this again, but he's a good 2v2 player, man. Very, very good undead player. And 2v2 is one of those formats where you don't necessarily have to be the best in 1v1. It's a different format. Obviously, why NA is always on top. So,
Give them their moment, Ricky.
no, really, really well played for this from this team there. I'm very, very impressed by it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. No real chance for Soin and LawLiet there. They tried hard, but always ran into the fight that they shouldn't take. And at the end, Undead takes over. That is oftentimes the case, even with Night Elf allies. Thank you, Moto, for buying a War3 Champions college jacket. You got one already. I sent you one. Having some friends over, they also want my jacket now, so take my money. And thanks, I appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed, and glad your friends have such wonderful taste. We already cracked the $5,000 here in the crowdfunding. That means Governor will add $2,500 tomorrow to kick things off on Sunday. We have a cap of 10k, so 2,500 are still missing to make this 5 digits, which would be absolutely incredible for a community tournament to get $10,000. Can we do that? We still have a lot of games. This was just 2 best of 3s. We got 7 more today, and upcoming is the next 2-2 semi-final. The Koreans are eliminated, but 2 European teams are still in, and it's maybe on paper the strongest. At least that would be my guess. It is Krav and Starbuck versus Shake and Bizarre. Krav and Starbuck teared it up in Todd's tag team. Shake and Bizarre are tearing it up for a long time in all the clan tournaments we have. W3IL and WC3L, etc, etc, etc. So who's gonna come out on top is the question. We go into a small little break, and then we'll decide who's advancing to championship Sunday to face Shocky and ToX in the grand final.